Hello children. In our previous class we were discussing about the marketing mix. We saw that there are 4 important P's involved in this marketing mix. They were product, price, physical distribution and promotion. We also discussed one of the element, that is product. Now as a continuation of that particular element, we are going with the product decision. There are 3 product decision involved. They are branding, packaging and labeling. What is branding? It is the process of giving a name or sign or a symbol etc. to a product. Some of the examples are Parker, Nike and Woodland. In branding itself, we have brand name. It is that part of a brand which can be spoken. So that part of the brand name which we can spoke is known as brand name. For example, we are well familiar with Asian Paints, Maggi, Lay's. So they have achieved a brand name among the customers. Adidas is also one example for brand name among the customers. They have already achieved that target of having a brand name in the market. Then another one is brand mark. That part of a brand which can be recognized but cannot be spoken. As we know that brand name can be spoken, but brand mark, it cannot be spoken but we can recognize through that mark. The correct sign, that is this sign of Nike, is very much familiar, isn't it? Whenever we see this mark, we know that it is the mark for this product. So it is a brand mark which we can recognize but which cannot spoke. The next we have trademark. Like in branding itself, we have trademark, a brand that is given legal protection against its use by other companies. So once every company have their unique trademarks, so that the other firms must not use it, as it have a legal protection. So every company have a distinct or specific trademark for their own companies. So that is one of the branding characteristics, that is trademark. Next, let us see what are the advantage of branding. Branding have advantage both to the marketer as well as to the customers. Now let us see what is the advantage of branding to the marketer. It enables making product differentiation. So we can recognize our favorite product when it is named according to its brand name. Okay, so we can select from our brand from the group of the other product. Firm can charge higher price for its products. So once a product become branded, then normally the producer, they charge higher price for the product. Okay, then it is the benefit for the marketer. Ease in introduction of a new product. Once that product have recognized and get attention from the customers, that product can introduce new product with the same brand name. Okay, so we know that Maggi, they have different products, like ketchup is there, then they have noodles, and masalas is also available nowadays. So whenever they introduce a new product with that brand name itself, it get click very fast. Next is helps in advertising and display programs. So such brand name are used for displaying in front of shop also. So these are the advantage of branding to the marketer. Now what about customers? How does this branding help the customers? They help the customer to identify their favorite product from among the different products. Then branding ensure quality of a product also. So if a number of items are there, then we can recognize our item, and it is said that those items which are branded, it is of good quality also. Then status symbol because of quality, as it is a quality product and it becomes a status symbol also. So these are the advantage of branding both to the marketer as well as to the customers. Now what are the characteristics of a good brand name? How should be a good brand name? If you are a marketer, how will you select a good brand name for your product? First thing is, it should be short, easy to pronounce and spell and recognize and remember. So the customer should easily able to pronounce it. Like we know that Pond's, Lux are some of the well-known product available in the market with these characteristics. must suggest the product benefit and qualities. From their name itself, their quality or their benefit should be that is known to the customer. So for example, Ujala is used to for the clothes, isn't it? So hair and care. So from this product name itself, we can recognize the benefit we will derive from that. Then next is should be distinctive. It should be something different from the other product. Then should not get out of date. So it should be something for lasting. The name, the brand name should be selected such a way that it is for it's a long lasting, we can say. It should be adaptable to packaging or labeling requirements. So the product should be such a way that packaging and labeling can be done in those products. Then it should be capable of being registered and protected legally. So the name should be such a way that we can register it and it gets the legal protection also. Then next product decision is the packaging. What is packaging? It refers to the act of designing and producing the container or wrapper of a product. There can be 3 different layers or levels of packaging. They are primary packaging, secondary packaging, and transportation packaging. So it is act of designing or producing a container or wrapper for a product. First one is primary packaging. It refers to the product's immediate container. For example, this toothpaste, in this tube, it is known as an immediate container because this is the tube in which the product is filled in. So this is a primary packaging. Next is a secondary packaging. To get extra protection to the product, an additional layer is provided. So till this product is ready to use, we can protect this product. Okay, the primary package can be protected through this additional layer. Then we have transportation packaging. So it refers to further packaging component necessary for storage and transportation. So for this toothpaste will be packed in these boxes so that it can be easy to storage. For the storage and transportation will be easy if you are storing in these boxes. So toothpaste manufacturer may send goods to a retailer in boxes containing 100 units. So it depends on the boxes, the number of units to be placed. Then so we can see here, these are the 3 levels of packaging. This is primary packaging, then additional layer protection given, that is secondary packaging. And for transportation, easy of transportation, this is the it is the transportation packaging. Now next is the functions or importance of packaging. Why we have to go for a packaging? Why the marketer go for a packaging of their product? So it helps in product identification. When we pack the product, it is easy for customers to identify the product, because if the product is in a loose form, it is difficult for them to identify it. Then the second point is it helps in product protection from spoilage, leakage, and damage. So if the product is packed, the spoilage can be avoided. So damage of the product can be avoided if it is in pack form. Then third point is it helps in product promotion, as good package attract the customers to buy the product. So if that product is in the packet, like Lays, we know that it attracts lot of children, so it is a good promotion activity also. So for increasing the sale, nowadays every marketer, they use this technique of packaging. A good package will definitely attract the customers. Then it helps in preventing adulteration as the product is properly packed. So we know Ashirwad Atta, they are advertising that their product is completely free of adulteration. So it is well packed and the quality is fully maintained. Then the fifth point is it helps in easy handling of the product. So as the product is in the pack form from the supermarket, we can easily handle this product, isn't it? If it is in pack, if the product is in the packet, it is easy for us to handle it. Then the next product decision is about labeling. What is labeling? Labeling refers to designing the label to be put on the package. So in a packet, whatever is there labeled out, it is the function of labeling. Okay, so through this packet we can come to know about the net quantity of the product, name of the product, then its that is a mark if it is we can, in e-tables we have different types of marks. Then license number is provided, then its expiry date, its manufacturing date, and batch number. Then about its nutrient facts will be provided, what are the ingredients in this product, and usage of how to use this product, name and complete detail of the company is also provided with this toll-free numbers. So these are the different functions provided by, that is, they give informations to the customers. Functions of labeling: it describes the product and specifies content. As you saw that it specify about the product. Then we can identify the product through its label. So by the name written on that product, through the function of labeling, we can identify the product. Then we can differentiate the product through the by reading the label on the product. Like Brooke Bond, they have red label, yellow label, and green label. So it is written on that it's red. So we can select our brand or our desired product if it is labeled properly. And it helps in promotion of the product also. So you may have read in the labeling of Dabur Amla hair oil that Balo mein dam, life mein fun. So that such wordings or it's a promotion technique which attracts the customer. So in branding it is such promotion techniques can be used. So it provides information required by law also. So manufacturing and expiry date is also written, which is one of the function of labeling, and it provides the legal information required. Now let us discuss about pricing. Pricing involves determination of price of a product. So what do you mean by pricing? It involves determination of fixing a price for a product. Price may be defined as the amount of money paid by a buyer in consideration of the purchase of a product or services. So if a buyer is purchasing a product or services, so he have to pay something in return of that product or services. That part of money which he is paying, it is known as price. Level of price affect the demand for a product. Generally, lower the price, higher would be the demand for the product, and vice versa. So we can say that if demand is more, the price of that product will be higher, and if demand is less, then the price of the product will be less. Price is an important factor affecting the success or failure of a product in the market, as it affects the revenue and profit of the firm. So the revenue and profit of the firm is attached with the price of the product, which also affects the success and failure of the product in the market. Now let us see the factors affecting the price determination. There are 6 factors which you have to remember. The first factor is product cost. Second one, the utility and demand. Third one, extent of competition in the market. Fourth point is pricing objectives. Fifth point is government and legal regulations. And sixth point is marketing method use. So all these 6 factors affect the price determination. Now let us see each of these factors. The first factor was product cost. Product cost include the cost of procuring, distribution, and selling the product. So what is product cost? For producing this product, what cost you have incurred, that is your product cost. So it may include the cost of procuring the raw material and other product for producing that item, and also the distribution and selling expenses is your total cost. Generally, all marketing firms strive to cover their total cost at least in the long run. So it is very important for every firm to cover their cost at least in a long run. In addition, they aim at earning a margin of profit over and above the cost. So they also want a profit which is above their cost. Then only the firm will have a growth prospect. So if a firm is thinking about the growth prospect, then they should fix a cost, or you can say that their earning margin of profit should be over and above the cost. In the long run, no organization will survive if it is charged a lower price than its product cost. So every organization, they have to fix a cost. They should cover the cost so that they can survive in the market. Okay, for their survival, they should cover the cost of their product. The next factor is the utility and demand. Price of a product depends to a large extent on its utility and demand. So what benefit the product is giving to the customer and its demand, this too is very much important while fixing the price of a product. A buyer buys a product only when he feels that the utility of the product is at least equal to its price. So when you go to a market to buy a product, you will check that product price and you will check the benefit which the product will give to you. So if the product is giving you utility which is equal to its price, then only you will buy a product. Similarly, product demand also affects its price. If demand is high, higher price is likely to be charged. In the case of low demand, price tend to be lower. So if demand is high, higher price, and if demand is low, lower price. The next factor which affect the pricing decision is extent of competition. Competitors' price and their anticipated reaction must be considered before fixing the price of a product. So if you are fixing a price of a product, you have to check out the price of your competitors and their reaction on that prices. Not only the price, but the quality and the features of the competitive product must be examined carefully before fixing the price. In perfect competition, no competitor is in a position to charge higher price as compared to its competitor. In imperfect competition, chances of charging higher price exist. So if there is perfect competition, we cannot go for a fixation of higher charge. But in case of imperfect competition, then we can charge a higher price for our product. Next, fourth factor is pricing objective. So every company, they have their own pricing objective. Let us see which are the different types of pricing objectives. First one is profit maximization. If the firm decides to maximize profit in short run, it will charge maximum price for its product. This point says that if the firm want to maximize their profit within a short period of time, within a short span, they have to maximize their profit, then they will fix a maximum price for their product. But if they want to maximize their profit in long run, then they will charge lower price for their product, and by doing this they can capture large market share and they can earn greater profit through increased sales because their cost is less, so more customers will be attracted and they will have a larger market share and thereby increase their profit through increasing their sales. The next pricing objective available is obtaining market share leadership. If a firm's objective is to obtain larger share of market, it will keep the price of its product at a lower level so that greater number of people are attracted to purchase the product. So one way of attracting the maximum customers to your product is charging lower price, and by charging lower price one can obtain larger share of market. So that is the one pricing objective available, that is obtaining market share leadership. The next point is surviving in a competitive market. If a firm is facing difficulty in surviving in the market because of intensive competition, it will charge the lowest possible price and offer discount also. So it is the market is too competitive. Your product are having many competitors. So to survive in the market, the only option available is to charge the lowest possible price, and not only that, you have to offer discount also so that you can survive in the market. The next pricing objective available is attaining product quality leadership. In this case, the firm charges higher price for providing high quality products because it incurs heavy expenditure on research and development. So a firm which is giving a quality product, they have to frequently go for a research and development, which is an expenditure. High expenditure is incurred on the research and development conducted by a company which frequently go for adding new quality and features to their product. So that research and development expenditure will be added to the price of the product. and automatically the price of the product will increase. So that is one objective, pricing objective. By increasing the quality, one can attract the customer, and they have to charge higher price so that they can incur heavy expenditure on research and development for their product. The fifth objective is government and legal regulations. So government has the power to regulate price fixation mechanism for essential product. You know that what are the list of essential product. So those essential products price will be fixed by the government. In certain cases, prices are directly fixed by the government, known as administered price mechanism. For examples of administered price mechanism are petroleum products like petrol, diesel, kerosene and cooking oil. In some cases, the formula for price fixation is determined by the government. For example, medicines. So for medicines and all, the government give the formula how the company should fix a price for that product. So this is one pricing objectives. Pricing factors. Then we have marketing method use. So price fixation is also affected by the marketing method use, such as the distribution system, quality of salesman employed, degree of advertising, sales promotion efforts, additional benefits like free home delivery. So if the company is offering these all facilities, the price will increase. So on the prices of the product depends also on the marketing method used by the company. Now children, it is time to conclude today's class. In today's class, we have discussed one of the marketing mix, that is pricing.